Welcome back to Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode. This was supposed to be an X4 video. Unfortunately, that patch 3.0 that I'm on the beta for is causing me a few issues. The mission is still stuck, the main mission that I can't go anywhere with. If anyone knows how to solve that mission, by the way, please do put in the comments in the description below, even though this isn't a Minecraft video. That's the ship is just stuck. Can't go back to the player HQ and dock and skip it that way. Can't destroy it and skip it that way. I've tried everything. So, yeah, I'm having problems with that entirely. However, I've got that flickery sky again. There has been an update to the pack, so I do need to just reapply some of the changes to stop it from causing that problem. Anyway, on Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode, we left it with needing to actually make mirrored glass, and I actually thought it was an infusion recipe. Did some more research. It's not. It's in the Artifice tab over here, and if you go into Basic Artifice, you can see on the right-hand side, as soon as you go in here, it's got this mirrored glass section, which lets you just craft it in the workbench, so that's good. So we are going to want cinnabar for that. Cinnabar. Just to make some quicksilver, and we can just make that by putting in a furnace of some kind. In fact, I already did some, so that's ready. And then we just need some glass panes. So pane, yep, one glass pane, and that should be enough to get one mirrored glass. So let's just go and grab you and get you going. So we just need one quicksilver, one glass pane, and we get one mirrored glass. Oh, that was much easier. Okay, so we don't need infusion just yet, but we may need it later. And that means we can turn this mirrored glass into what we're looking for, which is the blood altar. So the blood altar, so blood magic, needs all of those. Oh, hang on, glass lens. We need to convert that across. A couple of quicksilver, some mana glass panes, and that mirrored glass is in a luminous crafting table. So that's fine, I guess. Aquamarine, so a couple of you. Some quicksilver, which I just put in here. I'll take them back out again. The glass, or the mirrored kind. We're also going to want mana glass panes. I assume that's just dropping glass panes into a mana pool. Let's go and take a look while it's nighttime. Oh! Why is there a creeper right there? Right, I mean, literally right next to all my infrastructure. Why would you... Let's not go there. Let's not go there. It's fine. And let's just drop some glass panes. Is that mana glass? No, mana glass pane. Mana glass. Mana glass pane is just mana glass, and mana glass is just glass. Okay, so I'm going to need just the regular kind of glass for this. There we go. Put the glass panes away. Get regular glass. I'm going to need 6 of it. I've got 7. That's good. Let's just drop you in there. We want it to be dark just in case we need some excessive starlight, so that can get converted. There we go. 6 mana glass, and we can convert that over into the panes just by putting 2x3 into a crafting grid of any kind, but that regular crafting grid will do here. There we go. So let's just get 16 mana glass, and then we just want the mirrored glass, don't we? Is it mirrored glass? Mirrored glass. Yeah, converting it into glass lenses. And then I just need the wand. And yep, that's Animania, or whatever it's called, causing that problem. There we go. So that is going to craft. Odd shader sort of graphics, I know, but we should get the glass. There we are. And the glass, let me just get rid of the filter. There we go. The glass will then let us make everything else. So we just need the blood altar. Okay, and shift click you in, and then the last bit of it is this demonic will, and because that's just one of those items that just doesn't stack, it has different qualities on here. We're going to add it in here, and we get a blood altar. So there we go. We have a blood altar available. You will be wanting 2 fairly soon, so you're probably going to want to make more. Well, we've got enough mana glass, so I guess I could go and make it some more. I just need some more quicksilver, etc., and get that going. The demonic will, however, I am going to need more of it as well. So yeah, let me make another blood altar off camera. And there's our second altar, which we're going to be able to use. The reason for 2 altars, in case you haven't played Blood Magic before, is generally you'll want different bonuses on them. Yeah, well, in fact, you'll eventually want 3 altars, but we'll need more demonic will for that. But yeah, you want different bonuses on them, because in order to make them more powerful, you surround them with blocks. Certain blocks make them skewed one way or the other towards certain things. And in the case of blood magic, you want one altar for adding blood into your network, and life points into your network, if you want to put it that way, and the other altar for crafting, and then a third altar for something else. We'll get onto that later, but for now, just think of it as the being specialized for different purposes. Let's just dump a bunch of this stuff back into here that we don't actually need, at least not at the moment. Quartz slivers. Let me just dump the Thorncraft stuff in there. I want to keep thornium ingots there, however, because one of the first things we're going to need to actually make is, well, a stick would be nice. Any kind of stick, in fact. Can I have some sticks? Yes, we're going to need to make a thornium sword. So having thornium available is good, because we can just make a thornium sword like that. We're not going to be using it. It's just going to be for this purpose. And then if we have a look in blood magic, we're going to look for dagger. There's two types: dagger of sacrifice and sacrificial dagger. I never remember which way around. They need to be called something else. But I'm going to make a dagger of sacrifice. In fact, they're probably in the sanguine something. Sanguine scientum, which I have in my inventory. Good already. Dagger of sacrifice. There we go. You maybe can okay, so dagger of sacrifice is for sacrificing the blood of mobs. Yes. Next to the blood altar, we'll kill the entity in one hit and pump all the blood into the altar, convert it into life essence, depending on the quality of the mob. Okay, that's not what I typically start with. Now, you can make something like a chicken farm. And the way you make a chicken farm, you get yourself a chicken or two using something like a lasso of a golden lasso. Yeah, that will do. String. Do I have any string? I never have string. I need to get more flax. Okay, this should give me some string. String. Okay, so we get a lasso of sacrifice. There's like a sacrifice. In fact, hang on, that's not golden lasso, I should say. But that's not giving me the recipe. Oh, it needs 8 XP, which needs this. Yeah, this is. I keep forgetting this every time. You have to take them out and go to a regular crafting table. Because it requires XP, you can't just do it in AE2, unfortunately. So just go to a regular crafting table and then just put them back in, and you should be able to make it. So golden lasso, that gets you any passive mobs that you like, and we're going to get some more nuggets, so we may as well just go and get some more of that. So we're going to want 2 chickens or something along those kind of lines, and eventually you're going to make more chickens than this. But what you want to do is put them in well, should we actually do the dagger of sacrifice approach? Why not? Let's give this a go. So we're going to hopper. Okay, that's fine. We're going to want some kind of dispenser. Okay, dispenser is straightforward apart from the bow, I guess. I need more sticks, clearly. Okay, let's just make the bow. And then the dispenser. So nice when you have A2 to do this. So dispenser is going to throw eggs. You're going to put the hopper feeding into it, and above the hopper, you're going to put a ton of chickens. Now, you won't have chickens to start off with, so you're going to need more and more chickens. Now, the way you do that to start is you have that second chamber where your the chickens are going to be. You have that just to basically grab more chickens from. Whenever the eggs go through it, if they spawn into regular chickens, you pick them back up, you put them in the top, and eventually you have this chamber that's like 1 block by 2 blocks high that's just got chicken zombie hordes in there, and they will continue to just create more and more eggs, which will then drop through and be deployed into the lower chamber, which has chickens, which you're going to then use to well, sacrifice. Don't gather the blood as don't. No, there's no way to actually put this to make it seem better. There's just no way at all. So we're going to want out one of our blood altars, and we'll just, because we have 2 here, we'll be able to set up both approaches. To get started, we need that thornium sword converted into the dagger of sacrifice. So thornium sword, and that probably means I'm going to need some blood already. Yes, I'm going to need a tier 2 altar, so I can't do that until then. Okay, so we'll pencil that as needing to come back to it. But in the meantime, let's set up the chicken sort of area, and we can come back to it later once we have enough chickens. Okay, so I just have a dispenser here, and is it going to face me or is it going to face away from me? Face me, that's good. That's exactly what I want. And then on the back of it here, then I'm just going to be able to put some more stone, or rather, let's just put in a hopper first of all. Okay, and then anything onto this that drops onto this hopper will of course get dispensed, I would imagine. Let's just put some string there. Maybe this needs redstone signal to dispense. I will test that in a minute. And then we just need eggs basically to drop onto here. So let's just put some more stone down. Okay, and at this point we're just going to create a chamber. I'm going to want a redstone signal of some kind. I'll go underneath for the redstone signal, I think. So we can just put this together up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And then we have a chamber basically ready to take our chickens. Below that, you'll see, well, we have this chamber, which is also going to need to take chickens. So this is also going to need to be built up. But that should be fine, I think. I don't think we need to get any further than that. And then, of course, we want to get some way of getting up here. So, you know, having an area that we can get to is quite good. All right, there we go. There we go. So we can get up there quite easily and go and maintain things. I've built this off the ground because down here is where our altar is going to be, and you're going to want to be able to sacrifice near this block right here. We are going to probably just replace that with a half block or something along those kind of lines. I am going to need to get a few more bits of blocks in here, I think. So let's put one there, one here, and then we should be fine once we have a half block, I think, in place. And that will do. Yeah, so I'm going to go and get a half block, sort that out, and we'll come back for a few chickens. So yes, we'll just nab regular chickens that are around and needing a new home. So you can go and we'll grab another one and then we should be okay. Now, of course, we're not going to have the dagger of sacrifice, but we will at least be able to home these in our sort of home area. Yep, there we go. And let's just head over this way. And let's just drop down here. You'll see I've already put a blood altar down there. We'll use that as our regular kind of blood altar for now, not the sacrifice version. So I'm going to need to go up the top and just dump these chickens and get them in the right place. So that's one chicken. And that's another one. Okay. And yeah, the dispenser should actually build up the eggs until we actually get redstone signal. Speaking of redstone signal, redstone, is there redstone clock in the game? Or similar? Redstone proxy. How about clock? Clock or a timer, anything like that. Yeah, redstone clock from X Utilities 2. That should be fine. Advanced redstone torch. Seems like a very straightforward recipe. Let's get that sorted. So back to home. Redstone clock. Clock. Not block. Clock. And let's get that sorted. I'm sure this is a modified recipe. I don't think that's the default recipe. Are the sticks again? Honestly. You'd think I would just make more sticks. Or have more planks. More to the point. Anyway, let's get the redstone clock. Need 2 more of those. And that's pretty much everything. Oh, we need the skystone blocks. They're just skystone smelted, aren't they? Yeah, so skystone. That should be quite simple. Dump it in the furnace. Obviously they got 4 overclock upgrades, so that'll be quite fast. And there we go. So that's done. And that's done, which should give us a redstone clock. And we also can just go for this approach as well. This works perfectly well, the timer from RF Tools. But this is just a block form. Sort of helps to build it into things. Let's head over there. I should probably put a bit of a destination. Oh, no. I should put a bit of a destination down in my ender book just so I don't have to keep basically jumping backwards and forwards between these 2 areas. So let's get a decent place for that. Right about here should do. So let's just say blood altar. Okay, and new. And you can already hear the chickens up there. So if I just put that down right there. Looks like that's working. And I'm probably going to want to add that to my super sound muffler, because that button's going to be really annoying. But our chickens are just fine down there. Okay, so we're just going to make sure this is well lit up, just in case. And that should be it for now. We should naturally start to see chickens appear in the bottom area and just then be able to move them back up to the top. Let me just sort that super sample for that because that's going to really annoy me. Add recent. Let's remove the chicken. Yeah, we don't want chicken sounds. And then we want dispenser.fail. Let's add that. Oh, and everything's so quiet. So nice. And that's that sorted. So now it's quiet, and we should eventually have an area that we can hit things in, basically, that we'll need the Dagger of Sacrifice for. Speaking of that, we can't build that one, so we have to go for the self-sacrificial dagger, or whatever it's called. Sacrificial dagger, yes. That's going to need some other stuff. It's going to need some mana glass, we already know how to make. Alchemical brass, we already know how to make. Soul Scribe, never even heard of it. Or at least I've never used it. Soul Scribe is Living Wood Twig, Mana Steel, and Mana Pearl. If I had an Ender Pearl, that would be easy. I don't have an Ender Pearl. Yeah, that might be a problem. When you're short of Ender Pearls, well, say hi to an Enderman. This sword isn't great. And did I get Ender Pearl? I did not. Oh, hi. Yeah, we're going to want to upgrade it to this to be able to shoot Enderman at some point. I can't really get that right now because I need an Ender Pearl to be able to do it. So yeah, sort of stuck until I get an Ender Pearl. Here, Enderman. So we have one Living Wood Twig, and that will get us started. And then we can just go and make the Mana Steel and Mana Pearl, hopefully. Hopefully I don't have too many angry mobs around. Hi, yeah. I thought I'd seen something on the actual map. Yeah, we don't want that to happen. So 1 Mana Pearl, 1 Mana Steel, and we should be able to just combine those in a regular crafting grid. I'm going to need Enderium, but that's going to need me to get stuff that I just cannot access just yet. So I still can't upgrade this. Once we upgrade to Enderium Blades and the Shuriken, it will be able to hit Enderman. And it will be able to hit them at almost any range. So it's really worthwhile getting that upgrade, but we just can't do it yet. So in the meantime, we will just create our sacrificial dagger. Oh, well, our soul scribe anyway. And from that, we'll be able to create the sacrificial dagger like this. And then we just need mana glass. So then we need some more glass, which means I'm going to need more sand and just to cook some of that up. So let's get that put in the furnace. Okay, and then we'll convert that over to mana glass. I'll get the sacrificial dagger, and I'll meet you back over at the blood altar. Okay, over here at our blood altar, and this is where you're going to have be running a short of food pretty quickly, which is why you want to convert over to something with... Oh, there we go. It is actually working. We just haven't got any chickens yet. So yes, we want to have this basically auto-loaded, or well, basically chunk-loaded, which it is. And we're going to have eventually chickens popping out of here. We'll come back to that when we get to it. However, in the meantime, to speed it up, just go and get more chickens and load them on the top. And that's going to kick out the process. So I created the sacrificial dagger. And if you have a look here, if I go near this and click on myself, blood appears in the altar. And what's the reason? Well, not the reason. The blood altar itself works in a very strange way. You expect this to just be an altar with something in it, but there's actually 3 tanks in here. There's an input tank, an output tank, and the main storage tank. So you'll see if I just right click again, it's going to deplete, but it should stop at a certain point, if I remember rightly, once that actually gets to a certain level. So let's just basically click myself a few more times. So let's fill up this altar. Okay, I want to make sure I have plenty of food on me. But you can see that is still looking like it's draining, but it should stop in a little while. Now, while that's happening, we're going to want to basically cook up a mana diamond, and that will let us change over basically to making, what is it we want? We want a weak blood orb. Yeah, weak blood orb. Okay, we need 2,000 life points and a tier 1 altar, and this is going to be tier 1, I would imagine. You'll see it stopped now. It's basically filled up all of its tanks. Well, effectively, the input tank is fine now. And that means we can deal with this. So if we just go and put this in and right-click, you can see the life points at the top. We only need 2,000. So that's good because this is going to drain it pretty quick until we get the later tiers. There we go. So weak blood orb. And if I shift right-click, it basically should bind it to me. Current owner is Greyduster. So if I right click again, you'll see I will continue to add stuff to here. So click, and you don't see that's not changing what's in the blood altar. That's because the blood orb basically looks at your blood network. It's kind of like a virtual pool of life points. You can put stuff in your blood network and use it to power items. Stuff you wear, stuff you hold, really impressive stuff, in fact. Separate to that, but can be connected, are your blood altars. So remember when I said you probably want one blood altar to get blood in, you want one for crafting. Well, the third blood altar you typically use to get blood from its storage in some kind of shared system, or you link together with all the blood altars, into your life point network. So that third type you can combine with the first type. So you can have it being basically your input, and it also goes out to your life point network. But generally it's best to keep them all separate. And that's because the runes that we're about to put down, or are the block upgrades, are they called runes? Rune, I think they are called rune. Yeah, there they are. The blocks we're going to put down, like speed runes, efficiency runes, etc. They control the tier of altar, i.e. how powerful it is, how much storage it can actually hold, the kind of items you can craft with it. But they also basically can be upgraded to the powered versions, these that have colors in them, and they will then modify the altar itself. So you can make the altar have more storage, can basically take in blood faster, you can get it to do all kinds of stuff. We'll get to that in a little while. But for now, it's just important that we're able to craft some default stuff to get to that. Now, the other thing you're going to want in Blood Magic is sigils. Now, sigils are usually in fact, they're always a held item. They can do all kinds of things. They are just like a tool of some kind. Let's take a typical example. Sigil of the Blood Lamp is actually pretty handy. Gets rid of torches entirely. Instead of torches, it basically creates a sort of sparkly red effect that emits light. So it takes blood life points out of your life point network and basically lets you cast it like a spell and create a light. And to do that, you have to get blood lamp reagent, and that requires some other bits and pieces and some Tartaric gems. We'll get onto Hellfire Forges later. That's a relatively new addition to Blood Magic. You used to just basically dump stuff into your altar and you got one of these back out. It's a bit more complicated these days, but we'll still be able to get to it. But before we really get to any of that, we want to just get to, we've got the Dagger of Sacrifice, we've got a weak blood orb. If you want to just put stuff into your blood network, by the way, just put your blood orb in there and you'll see it starts draining. It's draining out of your blood altar into your life point network. Okay, so that's one way of getting it in there until later when we get sigils and we're able to see what's the sigil to be able to see see how many life points you've got in your network. I can never remember what it's actually called. Sigil of Holding is handy. That's like a container for multiple sigils. So you can shift scroll wheel to look through them. It's very, very handy. We will be getting that. Let me just find out. It's like an information sigil. Oh yeah, here it is. It's the sigil of divination sigil, I should say. So we need to make a blank slate and in an alchemy array, and then that's going to get us started. To get that, we'll need arcane ashes. And that again is another thing through the Hellfire Forge. So yeah, lots of stuff we need to get through that. We're going to get to it soon, but for now, we need to get to some other stuff. So as I said before, there's two routes to actually take. One is self-sacrifice, which is just basically you hurting yourself to add blood and add life points. The other one is sacrifice, where you're sacrificing other things. Eventually, you want to move to sacrifice to witches. Witches can regenerate themselves really quickly. And if you have a spawner that can create witches, you can basically damage them. They're fine, they never die. They're just a little bit inconvenienced. And you gain lots of life points, red, gushing life points into your altars, anything like that. It just becomes effortless at that point. But that's later on in the mod pack. So we'll have to get to other stuff first. So do we get any... get some loot here for doing that. So we got the weak blood orb. Come on, give me another ender chest. That'd be nice. Blank slates we're going to get to soon. A sacrificial dagger we've already basically made, so let's just take one of those. Dagger of sacrifice we can't make. Divination sigil, as you can see, it's one of the first things it says you should make. Hellfire Forge, we need to make one, so you can see that it has some requirements from other mods. Stardust, can we actually make Stardust? Or is that a problem in this pack? Yes. That may be a problem. Star metal ore. Does it actually occur? It doesn't occur on Earth. That might be a problem. We can transmute it via astral sorcery, but that may become a problem. So maybe we're stuck until we get to that. A lot of the mod packs, particularly expert modes, are sort of woven into each other, so you just can't have one thing without the others. We should be able to get to blank slates, however. Yeah, this is going to require living rock, and you put it in your blood altar. It takes 1,000 life points and only tier 1, so what we have right now can do this, and then it will convert those into a blank slate. I should note, if you dump 32 of these in, or 64 of these in, it will need 64,000 life points, and you won't be able to contain that in the blood altar to start off with, so don't put stacks in. You either need to dump them in one at a time, or you need to have like a rationing... is there a rationing pipe? There's not a rationing... It's like a rationing filter? Ration... filter? Question mark? Filter? There's almost certainly a rationing mechanism, and or maybe even translocators. I need to research it, but there is some kind of rationing mechanism, I'm almost sure, around if it's actual utilities, and that basically means only put one thing in at once. So if you can get some kind of mechanism to do that, you can just dump one in. It takes 1,000, drops out, and then the next one goes in, and then you can stop it at some point when you're feeling a little bit down from hurting yourself so much. So we're able to do that to get blank slates, and why don't we just get one to get started? So living rock, let's just get a couple. We'll automate it later. It's relatively simple to automate. What do we get from our loot chest? We get an angel block. Angel blocks are, I get 16 angel blocks. That's not quite so useful. You generally just need one, and then only when you have basically creative flight. But let's just go to the blood altar. And let's just, how much do we have? 1,500, that'll do. We just want one for the loot. And that should convert over pretty quickly. Yeah, off it there goes. And there it goes. So one blank slate. That gets me that quest done. And there we go. So another piece of loot handy. What do we get? We get an expander vertical, not even sure what that's used for. Maybe that's just like changing like a dig pattern to 3 high instead of 1 high. Anyway, that's that. What do we have else in Blood Magic? Anything we get to right now? Hellfire Forge? No. Blood Altar Tier 2, that requires blank runes. Blank runes require blank slates and then a weak blood orb. So we can make those, but it just means I have to keep hurting myself a little bit, and we don't have really enough food to regenerate. And that's another thing you're going to want with Blood Magic later. If you're going to go with self-sacrifice, you probably want some mechanism of regeneration, and there is some stuff through Britannia for regen. Well, I've got 1 potion. That's not quite so good. There is one of the flowers with Britannia that does cause regen. Beacons cause regen. Other bits and pieces in other mods. So, yeah, Ring of Regeneration from actually additions. We need Blaze for that, and otherwise seems pretty normal. Obviously need gas tiers, so yeah. How about creative flight? I know that seems like an odd tangent to go onto, but ghasts, you need to be able to go into the sky to chase ghasts. You get the idea. What is an angel ring? An angel ring is going to be utterly awful. I'm sure it will just be horrible recipes. Yes, it needs ender stars and elytra and stuff. Okay, but before you get to that, you get to the Ring of Flying Squid, which is kind of nice, usually, because it's almost like a jetpack. You can lift off, and you use up your sort of an internal meter. So you can lift off, go forwards through flight using your hang glider, and you don't need that sling anymore. So for that, we need to golden lasso a squid, which should be straightforward. And then the chicken wing ring, some black stuff, basically dye, like ink sacs from the squid, I'm sure will do. Yeah, ink sacs. Ender pearls, a couple of diamonds. That's going to be straightforward. What about this? We're going to need peacock feathers? Really? Oh, just regular feathers will do. That's just fine as well. So we need to golden lasso a chicken, and that will get us a chicken wing ring. So that's going to be pretty straightforward. Do we have any of that? We have everything but the chicken. So yeah, I have the golden lasso. I need to go and find another chicken, and then we'll get started with a little, well, not creative flight, but at least a sort of pseudo jetpack. Okay, we have a golden lasso, which means we have a chicken wing ring. It's going to be terrible until we get the actual upgrade. So I'm going to use the other chicken for basically for our blood magic farm, to get that going. And then we want the squid ring, don't we? Squid ring. So let's just see what we have of that. Do we have everything we need? Oh, nearly everything. We just need one more ender pearl. Of course we do. And then a golden lasso of a squid. So I'm going to have to hunt that down and see if we can find everything we need this episode. Well, I think we needed some silver wood, didn't we? So why don't I just pick up that? Oh, harvest level iron. I need to just mark this and come back to it later. So, yep, silver wood. Silver wood. There are days when you used to find nodes inside these things. Maybe they still do. Haven't checked in a while. Anyway, that's an earlier version of Thorncraft. Off to look for squid, I guess. And, yeah, more chickens and more Animania. Back to squid. Okay, couldn't find any squid, so I made some squid bait, which I've put there. Too close, the animals just get away. Just make that with 2 fish you can fish up, which with a fishing pole, fishing rod. And that should spawn a squid if we get far enough away for it to actually spawn. And then we can just go and grab it with said lasso, and then we should be okay. And a bit more hunting at nighttime, which is just now got to morning, and we should have our ring of this flying squid. Jet propulsion at your fingertips uses 16 GP. That's good because we actually have 24 GP, I think. Yep, so grid power, it looks like we have enough. And that does mean I should be able to put this in one of my bauble slots. Well, I want it in that one, maybe. Antidote charm. Void charm, yeah, let's just hit that one. If I hold down space, you can see I can go up. And I have a gauge in the middle of the screen, which lets me then basically combine this with my hang glider to get an early form of creative flight, and it will drop us down. Now, we only have 28 grid power, so if you're going to use grid power for something else, be aware that it could take it away from using your ring. So I generally try to avoid doing that wherever possible. But it does mean we no longer need this slime sling anymore. We can just basically head upwards. And you can see how slowly it's draining here, and just to switch to the hang glider, it's more than enough to get it to recover, which means you can pretty much explore the nether at will. And of course, what you can also do is fight while in the nether. So if you just switch to, let's say, your shuriken, you can go into a hover and then just go back to using your hang glider when you've shot a few shots. And yeah, get the idea. So it'd be nice upgrade to your existing stuff. And let's just see, do we have any chickens available in this bottom receptacle yet? Nope. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna need a lot more in the top. I think I've only got 3 in the top, or maybe 4 in the top. Yeah, they are in there, so they're not getting depleted. I'll continue to add more in there, and we'll see whether we actually get that effect. It's been a while since I did this chicken farm. In fact, it's probably 1.7 last time I actually did it. But it worked fine back then, so I don't see why it wouldn't work fine now. So, yeah, let's see how the dispenser goes. So that's it for today's episode, I think. We got Blood Altar Farm. Oh, there we go. At one point, I am going to get chickens. Yeah, so Blood Altar Farm started. We will do that more of that later. We'll get into Blood Magic later because it is pretty much a great mod. I do enjoy that a lot more than I do Thorncraft or Britannia. So we'll probably head deeply into that mod. It's got lots of upgrades that we can get to. And then more technology next episode. We're probably going to be getting back on the technology side, if we can, that is. To get towards the machine frame. To get Enderium, which is upgrade to our Shuriken, we need a machine frame because we need to make a magma crucible, and to make a magma crucible we need one of these, and this needs other stuff that we haven't got. Now, iron casings we've done already. The device frame I don't think we've done. Machine case we have done. Heavy engineering block we haven't, but uranium plates. Ooh, can we just cast that straight from... Can we just melt it and cast it? Block of uranium? Can we cast that from, like, uranium ore? Looks like we can, so that's not a problem if that's the case. We've already made these, and steel scaffolding is just steel. That's doable. Which leaves device frame, which is very, very simple. An ore crystal, which is very, very simple, and then this. The machine frame. Okay, leaving this to last. We need some stuff in here we just don't have. Dry rubber, so that's industrial foregoing we need to get into. Machine case we've already done. Pink slime, also from industrial foregoing. So it's looking likely we need to go into industrial foregoing, isn't it? And then heat vents from industrial craft 2, but we've made all the stuff we need from that, so that's not a problem. Gold gear shouldn't be a problem, and then range add-ons. It doesn't matter which one you actually use, it looks like, so you probably want the most terrible version you can. And that's going to need plastics again from industrial foregoing, which is going to need that whole chain. So we need to go into industrial foregoing and get to machine frames, and that will let us get to thermal expansion, which is good. Now, if I have a look at the gates section, you'll see RF tools. It needs us to make this machine frame, which is to unlock it in the first place. So you'll see it's basically industrial foregoing is the line that goes to it. So yeah, industrial foregoing over here, I think, has got a whole bunch of quests. So it leads you down the whole process, where it's starting with a tree fluid extractor. And this is going to get us latex from basically wood, and it's very, very simple to make, but we're running out of time for this episode. So next episode, tech episode, and we'll get into industrial foregoing. Hopefully you enjoy this one. If you have, please do press on the like button down at the bottom. It does help the channel out. Subscribe, click on the bell for notifications, and of course, as always, guys, please do leave comments of other people playing through. Leave them tips and tricks that you've discovered. If you found any advance on this this Ring of the Flying Squid, I don't think we're going to get to the angel ring sooner. That's one of the ingredients for it. I can do the golden apples and the dense gold plate. Ethereal glass. It's moonstone, which needs lunar reactive dust, and that's not too bad. Unstable ingot is usually divided by diamond. Yep, and generally has explosive properties when you do that. But that's all right. The Ender Star, on the other hand, needs Nether Stars and Dragon's Breath, and we need to get to killing bosses, unless there's anything the way to craft Nether Stars. Well, there is, but my mystical aggreditions, but that typically then usually needs Nether Star Crux, yeah. Even if you're able to make the Nether Star Seed, you need to make Nether Star Cruxes, which themselves need Nether Stars. So you always end up having to kill the Wither at some point anyway, so that's something to do. And I did get a nanosuit body armor from just a random skeleton or random zombie drop, so that's improving my iron armor, so I can just put those into charge somewhere maybe. Will you charge in here? Let's just see. Where's my nanosuit armor? Yeah. Yeah, you will. And take my entire supply of power in one fell swoop. So this advanced energy cube is really fast at charging, but this does mean that it is providing the armor now. At the very bottom of the screen, you'll see that is more than normal. So yeah, we do want to charge those. I also have the nano boots as well. The slime boots are just there to protect against fall damage, so I can obviously swap those out. And again, just random drops. I think I have a couple of nano boots now. A couple of different nano boots. Durability, different ones, but they need charging or not charging, so I can throw those ones away. And that's pretty cool. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for the more Enigmatica 2 Expert Mode.